Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Marcus from Team Takeover, and today I'm coming at you with a deck profile of my Bardock Yellow Great Ape deck, or the Bardock Grape deck, as I like to call it. My wife and I call them the Grapes. Great Ape. Anyway, I love Bardock as a leader, and I've been really kind of done with Mecha Frieza, just running into it and playing it so much and having to play it. It seems so stagnant and boring. So I moved on to Bardock, and especially from GSS, the Soul Striker Goku. I basically moved on from that one just because I wanted to try a yellow leader. I felt that there were some defensive limitations with that. But to be honest, I was onto something with Soul Striker. I just think the game's just a tad fast right now. If they do something to Mecha Frieza, I definitely can see Soul Striker being one of the better ape decks just because the odds of you getting to turn 5 are higher and the boards are more stable and pretty good. But Bardock is a fantastic leader. If you don't know what he does, on this side, when he swings at the leader of your opponent, he gets to draw a card. And unlike most leaders that I've showcased on this channel, instead of drawing 2 to awaken, you untap 2 mana to awaken, which means you can kind of extend for a turn, which is kind of cool. But to be really honest, it's kind of lackluster at sometimes, but it can kind of play, especially onto your turn 5. So it kind of just depends really where you're at in the game state. Because if you have 5 energy, you tap 3 to like evolve into your absolute defense King Vegeta. You can then untap 2 and then play March. So that's kind of cool. But anyway, turn 5 just seems to be the turn to get to with this leader. And also, the cool thing is if your opponent awakens, which Mecha Frieza does, you can start swinging into them, and you just get to draw for free. And the cool thing about that is if you swing twice, basically you would have drawn 2 to awaken. And so every swing that you get for free after that is just extra plussing. And so, yeah, Bardock is a fantastic leader on this side. And then, and when he awakens, he has a really cool effect. Basically, whenever he attacks, it doesn't have to be the leader. He gets to draw a card. And to top it off, when a yellow Saiyan on your side of the field dies, you get plus 5,000 to this guy's power. Which is really cool because basically he Senzu beans himself. So he's pretty cool defensively in that regard, and I really like this leader. So without further ado, let's get into the deck profile. So we play 4 Planet of the Grapes. Side note, I am trying to foil this out, but I haven't got everything yet. So maybe when I get a foil version of it, I will be able to showcase it, especially if I do some different tech choices. But Planet of the Grapes, or Planet Vegeta, basically this card right here, what it does is it untaps all of the great apes on my field at the end of my turn, as well as being able, once it's played, to search out any ape of any color, or any Saiyan, I should say, of any color, with a cost of 4 or less, which is just absolutely fantastic because it searches us a lot of cards that we need. This deck also is like very situational, and Planet Vegeta is just very hand correcting. So absolutely love it. Fantastic. Gotta play it at 4. And then next to the Defense Win Championships card, Flying Nimbus. This is actually now the best negate in the game. I thought Whisk still probably would be, but to be honest, Flying Nimbus really is. Just because there's a lot of decks right now that put up an insane amount of pressure, especially with Bardock being a leader that's not as fast as others. Flying Nimbus really slows them down and allows me to grind better. It also doesn't make me sacrifice my apes to blocking early. So, or like I can, they can attack, I can Nimbus, they can swing again, I can block once, or I can decide whether or not to take that hit. So Nimbus is super good. I absolutely love it in this deck. It is a must play at 4. Next to, my opinion, the most broken card in the game, March of the Grapes. March of the Great Apes is just honestly one of the best cards I think I've ever seen in this game. Number one, the fact that this card for 4 energy can bring out 2 4-cost cards with 20,000 and blocker, and Planet Vegeta will stand them after they attack, and they can have either critical or double strike, is just absolutely insane. And if that weren't enough, you draw 2, which yeah. I mean, I shouldn't have to say any more. this card's incredible, and resolving it in this deck is just absolutely insane. So yeah, March of the Grapes. Wow. And then we play 2 Tech Traces, Crusher Ball. The reason why we're playing Crusher Ball is, one, we can't play Bloodlust because we're playing Bardock, sad face. But on the other hand, we can't play Crusher Ball, which actually does come up. It comes up especially when your opponent marches. So you can kind of counter that. You can also counter Shugesh. And like, there's just lots of ways that you could actually play Crusher Ball to kind of be good against your opponent, especially if your cards have barrier and like Veggie's attempt to like bring up Kale or something. You can just Crusher Ball the Kale. It comes out in defense. It's not swinging for critical, and then you can easily kill it. So like, absolutely love this card, and it's really good at again, kind of getting you to where you need to be and kind of stalling you out to get you to where you need to be. That pretty much wraps it up for the extra cards, I believe. And then we got 4 Explosive Spirits on Goku's. This card is actually utilized probably best in this deck. The reason why I say that is because of what happens when this card dies with our leader when it's awakened. So basically, every yellow deck can just basically play this as is, right? Mecha Freeze is pretty much the only yellow deck that people are playing anyway, but this leader, when this card dies, gets a Senzu Bean effect off of it, which is absolutely good, like incredible. So it gives this card extra utility that it didn't have before, and the fact that we can play it in here is just super cool. And then on to our Great Apes. We play 4 Absolute Defense Great Ape King Vegeta. This card is just insane. The fact that it gives all of our yellow Saiyans barrier, and there's only 4 cards I think in the deck that are not yellow Saiyans. Actually, there's 8. But anyway, this card just giving all of our Saiyans barrier is just absolutely crazy. Giving our Great Apes barrier is pretty crazy. And the combo fodder effect comes up a lot, and I mean a lot. So just being able to use him is just to his fullest in this deck. I just feel that this deck really brings the Great Apes full circle, and he is just a key pivotal masterpiece that like brings and glues everything together. And the fact that he's 25k double strike, giving everything barrier, is just absolutely cool. And then that combo cost reduction just comes up super clutch, especially when you want to pressure your opponent. When you're playing the Apes mirror match, you have to grind better than your opponent. You have to get over their blockers, and he really helps you do that. And then 4 Prince of the Grapes. Great Ape Prince Vegeta. This card's just absolutely fantastic. This card's the most pivotal attacker in your deck just because he's critical, 20k critical and a blocker. You cannot ask for more. Oh wait, he does more. He also, when he's comboed or played, you get to look at the top 3 cards of your deck, and if there's a Great Ape, you can add it and then send a card from your hand to the drop area. This card is just fantastic. I absolutely love it. It is just one of the best attackers in the game because of the fact that it can become a standing blocker with Planet Vegeta. So I absolutely love it. Yeah, Prince of the Grapes is super good. And then we play 4 Bardock Iron Will. If you don't have this card and you can't afford it, I understand. You can play Tora in its place. It fits the bill, 20k blocker. But Bardock is really good at helping putting late game pressure, especially if they're at 2 life. So this card is fantastic, but it is the first card that I charge if I have to choose between it or Prince. Just because Prince's critical is going to be more immediate and more necessary unless Mecha Freezes already put themselves down to 2 life. And even then, that critical can be good because if they consider taking that damage, they don't get that card anyway. So either way, but Bardock is just super great and fantastic. Also being a blocker and being able to stand at the end of your turn with Planet Vegeta or Planet of the Grapes is pretty cool. And then we play 3 Lord of the Grapes, King Vegeta. This card has so much good utility. we get to basically on our turn 3, if we're awakened because the game's so fast, we can Shugesh into this card, search out our king, and then evolve immediately if we want. So I actually really like that combo, especially in this deck, because if we're at 4 or less, then we can awaken after we evolve, get us some energy back, play defense, get one more turn, and then march. So depending on how fast they are against us, that might open the door to how fast we can play. So this deck can play the Great Ape King Vegeta with 2 other Great Apes by turn 4, which is pretty cool, and that's decently fast. But this card's super fantastic, being able to search out other Great Apes, and we really love it, playing this card. Absolutely great. And then 4 of our energy boosted Majin Buu, Youthful Bulma. There's some space in here, and you're gonna see that. But Youthful Bulma is fantastic, actually, because it kind of helps us grind well against other ape decks. So basically, long story short, if you're playing the ape mirror match in some way, the person who actually gets their apes out first is at a disadvantage if the opponent can counter march on the next turn, because if they have cards like this on board, when you swing and have to block, you're going to actually have to expend more than I would, for example, if I like combo with this card. So if I combo 5, you have to combo 10, so on and so forth. And that's just going to dwindle the resources down, and with Mecha Freeze, a resource means everything. So if they lose those resources trying to save their apes, or they let them die, you basically win. And she's really good at 1, keeping the deck consistent. It's 2, really great when you attack with the leader and get to play this in the same turn. That's just fantastic. And this card just fits really well. So glad that they made a draw for yellow. And then we play 4 Unwavering Solidarity Shugesh. There is not a lot to say about this card. It is the most broken super combo. Probably will be the most broken super combo ever invented. The fact that you can just play a level 3 or less Saiyan from your hand is just crazy. Not a lot to say. It's just pretty crazy. Then we got 4 No Openings Son Goku. The reason why we play this is because it's actually self-awakening. So basically, it combos in like Raging Spirit Son Gohan, but when it comes in, you can choose to take a life and add it to your hand, which is really good. And it's good self-awakening because it is a yellow Saiyan, so it's protected by barrier with Great Ape King Vegeta, and to top it off, it's searchable off of Planet Vegeta and playable off Shugesh. So the card fits very well. And I absolutely love this card, and if we're already in awakening range, you charge it. And then 4 of the tech choice. I wish this was a good yellow card. If you have any suggestions of what good yellow card I can put in, let me know in the comment section down below. But this card is actually a very good substitute. Unbreakable Super Saiyan Son Goku. Basically, this card right here allows me to play, when I have the Great Ape King Vegeta on board, this for free. And when you combo with it, you get to draw a card. So it's basically Boost Attack Piccolo for free. So we basically are playing 8 super combos, which is really good, helping us grind, as well as helping us outgrind our opponent and just basically push over them if we need to kill their apes, or we need to shotgun them to death. So, yeah, I absolutely love this card. It is fantastic. It is really good in here. It is not a card you want to see early. You definitely want to see these late and draw into them when you're getting into your more stable turns. But to be honest, this card is fantastic when it's being able to be played for free. Yep, and so that pretty much rounds it up for my Grape Bardock deck profile. I absolutely love this leader. It's unawakened side. It feels bad. It really does. It feels so bad swinging at my opponent. But it also feels so good drawing a card every time they're awakened. I really love it. So let me know what you guys think if you actually end up playing this leader. I think this leader does have some potential. I do think that Pan is better, but in a different way, and that different way can be very costly. And the fact that he's able to play Shugesh is just better in certain regards to Pan, but I think that Pan is an overall better at aggressing and doing what it wants to do. So I think, though, that Bardock does have potential, and let me know if you guys think that to down below, and give me any ideas if you have any for the deck. And this is Marcus from Toon Takeover, signing off.